Clerk, will you read the public notice, please?
Notice of public hearing, City of Jamestown, New York. Please take notice that the City Council of the City of Jamestown, New York will hold a public hearing on Monday, June 29th, 2026 at 6:45 p.m. at Jamestown City Hall located 200 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York. Consider the adoption of a proposed comprehensive plan. Please take further notice that the comprehensive plan is a long-range policy document that sets forth the community's vision for the future, outlining goals, policies, and strategies for physical, economic, and social development. Please take further notice that copies of the draft comprehensive plan will be on file and available for public inspection at the office of the City of Jamestown Clerk, located 200 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, during regular business hours, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and online at https://www.jtnycomplan.org. A physical copy of the document will also be available at Pendergast Library, 509 Cherry Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701. Please take further notice that all interested citizens, residents, and stakeholders will be given the opportunity to be heard at the public hearing. Written comments may also be filed within the Jamestown Clerk by mail at 200 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701, or via email at clerk@jamestowny.gov on or before 12:00 p.m. on June 29, 2026. Any person with a disability requiring reasonable accommodation in order to participate in the meeting should call 716-483-7612 with a request prior to the scheduled meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would wish to address the public meeting? Please get up and state your name and.
You gotta talk.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Rachel Anderson, and I live in the Jamestown adjacent area. And there is a part of the comprehensive plan that I noticed coincides with the council's recent decision to raise property taxes. And this part is the decision to prioritize apartment housing over single-family homes. And I am curious what part of disincentivizing home ownership and long-term residency is meant to stabilize Jamestown and make residents want to stay here.
There's no response to that.
No, it's hearing. No.
Okay.
But
So this, yeah. They're making notation of this. This is a hearing, not a back and forth, so your question has been noted and will be responded to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else that would like to address the public hearing? State your name and address.
Doug Champ, 225 Bowen Street. I go back a long time with comprehensive plans. I was a planner that was involved with the 1970 plan. And we've come a long, long way with the needs and the kind of like future aspects associated with planning. I was also involved with the 1990 plan as kind of like a participant regarding some issues. And there's a lot of key ingredients in comprehensive planning. One of the most interesting words is a vision. And a quote from Keller, who is a blind lady, if you remember who she was born blind pretty much at the age of 2. And they asked her the question, that was Helen Keller. They asked her this question, is there anything worse than blindness? And she said, yes, having sight without vision. So subsequently, the vision in front of you, and I commend the process at the Department of Development and the planner involved with us at this time. And by the way, I think he's doing a wonderful job and we're in good hands with him, fulfilling the requirements of what's going to happen in the future. But there are some key points that need to be discussed and how the implementation process works. And in your litany or matrix that you have, there are certain capture points that have references at this point in time, and I really think it's early in the genesis of this whole thing. But remember, you're embarking on something that none of you will be here. I hope you are physically, but none of you will be on council in 2045. And we'll be looking at totally new people as the evolution takes place. So what you're doing is trying to look at a future of what people will be who are not here now. Now, in regards to some issues regarding what's been presented, one of the key things that were missing in the past was the implementation engagement of citizens. So I'm going to offer some ideas and suggestions because I've learned from that, is that each category that you're embarking on needs to have attached to it a steering committee separate from maybe the administration steering committee that is augmented with the city council's groups that are associated with implementing the city's programs and programs, are solving the problems. And what I mean by that is a public facilities committee, which is basically DPW, the public safety committee, which is council people, the finance committee, and the housing committee have to be integrated into this whole process on an ongoing basis. And with that, you would also augment that with citizens from the wards who have a special interest within the comprehensive plan. If you don't do that, you're going to end up where we were in the past, not capturing and not accomplishing what the goals and objectives that you are so now stating. In addition to that, back then there was an opportunity, and I don't know that the city's worked with the EDA, that's the Economic Development Administration, at all. Back in that day when we had a problem with Warner Dam, I decided that there was an opportunity that the EDA would help modernize and deal with the gate problems we had at Warner Dam. So I went to Philadelphia and argued about Jamestown's Warner Dam. They ended up funding $2 million, but we had a very little local match. The Industrial Corridor Project, known as CHIRP, the Chattaquin Industrial Revitalization Program, was also funded by the EDA. I see nothing that tells me that anybody knows anything about EDA regarding the comprehensive plan. In addition to that, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has a myriad of programs available, both in-country and out-country, for doing things related to what you have achieved and what you want to do regarding the downtown revitalization issue. So what I'm saying there are things to uncover that I have been involved with that's not being discussed. So maybe it will, maybe it won't, but the big thing I want to leave you with, and I do this from experience, is that unless a comprehensive plan has, and you had citizen engagement to bring you to this point, but they must be part of the implementation process. They must know what it's going to cost, they must know who's going to do it, and they must know when it's going to get done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there anyone else that would like to address the public hearing? Who stepped to the mic, please?
I have a paper to distribute so you know what I'm talking about. I think this has to be the general session of the previous year.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this related to the public hearing?
I'll give them to the people over there.
Ma'am, is this related to the public hearing?
What?
Is this related to the public hearing for the comprehensive plan? Okay, that may have to wait until our 7:30 meeting. To the meeting at 7:30.
You don't want me to talk today?
Oh, you can talk today, but it'll just have to be at 7:30.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Coraline Baylor, and I have been a resident of Chautauqua County all my life. My concern today is about a notice I received from the Citation Collection Service of Indianapolis,
Ma'am.
Indiana.
You need to wait till our 7:30 session to speak on what you're speaking on.
Want me to wait till 7:30?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Is there anyone else here that wants to address the public hearing on the comprehensive plan? Is there anyone else that would like to address the hearing on the comprehensive plan? No, that's one more time. If there's anyone else here that would like to address the public hearing on the comprehensive plan?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Crystal, can you clarify for the woman who came, as part of the comprehensive plan, what she was referring to? I don't have it in front of me here right now.
I mean, it's part of an overall strategy. It's not prioritizing mixed use. Well, mixed use is a big part of it. I don't think you put that on this.
And I don't think it's prioritizing one over another, I don't,
No.
but it's about having a diversity of housing options that includes rental, good rental units, home ownership, different types of housing. I will pull up the housing section.
And it took all of the data, the consultants reviewed all of the data, and, you know, out of this year-and-a-half long analysis, determined that having that diversity is what's the best action going forward for the community, for where we're at today, to meet the needs of the community as we evolve and as we're evolving. You know, I think that we are all very familiar that there is a housing shortage, and there are a lot of issues with housing in our community, and so addressing all of those various issues is part of the overall plan, to whether it's stabilizing housing specifically or stabilizing neighborhoods, having that diverse mix. And there will still be zones, you know, we're working on the zoning code right now, so that is still something that will be in place. So there will be residential districts that have different types of housing allowed once we get through that zoning code process. But really it's offering those housing options that is, yeah. So literally it says, you know, prioritizing some infill development and diversity in housing through downzoning neighborhoods.
And Crystal, the infill housing in most likelihood is going to be single-family houses because of the
Most
small
likely, that
lots.
given the sizes,
Right.
that would, even with the changes to the zoning that we have, the interim changes that we've made, and then what we anticipate will become permanent changes in the future, those lots are still small. So looking at multifamily on those lots is not likely going to happen. There may be some other things that we look at, like accessory dwelling units, right? So, you know, we do have a few in the city that are like, you know, you got like the full number and then you have a house in the back. There were lots of those back in the day, right? There's not so many anymore, but we will look at that as a possibility when we're doing zoning, so you can have multi-generational. And think about people who may want to move their family members in that are elderly. You know, we've looked at our aging population and keeping people in their homes. And so how can we use the comprehensive plan, but then subsequent zoning to support being able to, you know, support our multiple generations living in the same place, and being able to keep people in their homes rather than having to go into nursing homes or something like that. So it's not as simple as prioritizing single family over multiple family housing. It's the right places, all the right circumstances, and being able to look at that holistically and understanding the neighborhood and the context of the neighborhood that we're proposing these things to go. We're not going to go out and build a whole bunch of multi-family housing tomorrow. It's not realistic, it's not what's going to happen. But making sure that we're continuously looking at the neighborhoods as they exist, what the needs are for those neighborhoods, what the context is for those neighborhoods, and making sure that when we get into the zoning part of things, that it's appropriate for where the zoning is going to be.
Any more questions?
No, I just want to make sure she was responding to me.
Thank you.
All right, so there's no one else